Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hey everyone, checking in on the market. They're doing some work outside, so we might get some sawing in the background, but it's the most significant bull bounce attempt that we've seen in a while. It's another daily inside bar, which means day number 9 in a row of a lower high every single day, but it's the most significant bull action that I have seen, and the volume was there today, 155 million. Note that yesterday the entire day's range was over $10, and we had 160 million shares traded, and today's range was under $5, and it was almost as much volume, just barely below it. So what that says to me is that it's a buying day. There was a lot of volume behind it, and that it is the bulls accumulating a bit. And if we look at SPY on the 5-minute time frame and we take away extended hours, we had that big buying of the dip the last 15 minutes of the day yesterday. It was noticeable in the tech sector. It was noticeable in SPY. And the bulls just picked up exactly where they left off from on this 5-minute move and just surged right into the open. And if you turn on extended hours, you can see that they literally picked up right where they left off. So we had this bear move heading into the open, and it was completely erasing any pre-market strength. But when you take away that extended hours, look at how just smooth, and it just looks like one line. In my opinion, that is bots and algos, and that is seeing significant volume come in right when there's real volume. Again, extended hours is when volume is much less significant and the price moves on that less significant volume. You need big time volume to move the price once the bell rings. And again, I think that bots took the price down to just pick right up where they left off and follow that move up. So then after that, we saw healthy consolidation on the hourly to form a higher low. So our key supports on SPY are 259.85 and 263.58. And we did see that continuation at the end of the day. Yesterday, it was QQQ double topping and pulling back that ruined the day for the bulls. Today, the financial sector double topped at the high of the day and pulled back, and that's what led to this multiple hours of consolidation. But if you notice, it's on declining bear volume, increasing bull volume, and now we're looking at the 4-hour downtrend to try and break. So anything under 270.25 is a lower high on the 4-hour time frame. So tomorrow we're either going to see the bulls with a very strong day and break that resistance level, or we're going to see an inability to break 270.25, and we're going to have to pull back and form a 4-hour higher low compared to 263.80. So if we reject and do pull back, that's the scenario where the bulls are going to be looking to enter positions using the recent lows as a stop level. So those are the two scenarios that I'm looking for. And that would be a inverse head and shoulders pattern. If we were unable to break resistance, it would be the left shoulder, the head, and then a right shoulder if we cannot break that level. And then we would look for that potential breakout with follow through. So those are the two scenarios I'm keeping an eye out for tomorrow, and we'll see which one we get. Keeping an eye out for that bull volume to continue. IWM, inside bar as well on the daily, but a little bit of a head start on this bounce. 3rd day in a row of a higher low. So the resistance that IWM bulls need to break, if we look at its 4-hour time frame, it's right there, and that level is 150.63. We're on the verge of changing this 4-hour trend. So there's the low, high of the bounce, higher low, and we're trying for this higher high. Next level after that would be up at 152.89, and then there's space to the upside. So the bulls are coming up to resistance levels right now, and we'll see if we get that follow through. A lot of key resistances to be watching first thing tomorrow, and whether or not the bulls can break them. Weekly time frame for IWM, inside bar, lower wick, and weekly lower Bollinger Band resistance to watch as well. QQQ, inside bar, close at the high of the day. Again, we're looking at everything on the 4-hour time frame to get indication when the bounce is for real as far as the daily chart goes. And the last resistance level is at 169.86. Anything under that is a lower high. So bulls still have a lot of work to do. We need another 2% to the upside in order to get to that resistance level. So keep in mind that we could see that healthy 4-hour consolidation to try and form that higher low if the bulls are unable to break these resistances early tomorrow morning. Lower wick is trying to form on the weekly time frame. And this is something I mentioned live in the afternoon, but over the weekend, I was actually on a plane and they had a little TV. I don't usually watch CNBC, but I just left it on and watched the morning open. And I wasn't even listening to it, but I was just watching the infographics they were putting up. And they were just making so many points on worst month since XYZ date and all of these, worst month comparing to everything, but the month is not over and we have one more day. And now on this monthly time frame for SPY, we are looking at a multiple percent bounce from the low. So obviously it's not significant at this point, but if we see another green day tomorrow, the low was down at 260 and this would be a bounce of 3+%. So all of those infographics are from when we were at our lowest and closing very weak to end last week. So I'm interested to see if the bulls do see a little bit of follow through on this bounce and then ruin all of those monthly stats because we have bounced 3 to 4% off of the low. So that's something we're keeping an eye out for. Continuation tomorrow. XLF, the financial sector, double top, 25.93, 25.94, need a convincing break of that level. 26.04 and 26.10 are the next levels after that. Again, for similar to IWM, the bounce is already starting here. We have higher lows multiple days in a row. So as far as the 4-hour time frame is concerned on XLF, we are already shifting momentum. We have to be cautious of the potential of a bear flag. If the bulls can see convincing follow through tomorrow, they will negate this potential bear flag. But at this point in time, this bounce is not convincing. And again, just looking at that daily chart, if we were to top out and reject tomorrow, the bear flag stays alive. But if we do get follow through, we work on negating that. If that bear flag is negated and we get solid 4-hour follow through up here into the 2620s or so, we then have the 4-hour trend clearly changing. It's already changed with a higher low and a higher high only by a penny. But if we get that follow through, we then look to the daily time frame and we say, all right, the bounce is underway. This is the for real bounce, but we know on the daily time frame that anything under 27.19 is just a lower high. So we're going to have to likely form a lower high compared to that level and then form the higher low and change the trend. So you can see we're doing the same thing on multiple time frames and just shifting out every time it's accomplished on a different time frame. Looking at the weekly inside bar, and we'll look for that to break next week. VIX on the daily chart, inside bar as well. If we break 23.11 and 22.01, the equilibrium will very clearly be under formation, and we'll be looking at a higher low to form compared to 17.06 very easily. But I'm going to be watching this equilibrium on VIX into November to give some signals, and I'd love to see a pullback the next couple days and for the market to bounce, and then we'll have a nice tightening equilibrium pattern into November to be watching that will give us a bit of confirmation as to whether the SPY recovery is significant and for real and we're getting, buying of the dip as always, or if it's just that weak bounce that's going to lead to lower lows. Weekly time frame for VIX, clearly resistance in the upper 20s, and it's all about the inside bar tomorrow for a lot of individual names. So we'll check back in. Hope you have a good rest of your night.